Hello everyone, this is John Jenkins. I really didn't want to make a video because I got some stuff going on. You can see I got a whole mess behind me. They're trying to fix up my room, so I had to move some stuff out of the way. Anyway, I was watching another. I, I saw the ad for MTV's video White People. MTV's new documentary. Yeah, it's a documentary film that MTV is doing called White People, and you know this really got the ball rolling. Got me to thinking about some things, and I made a few comments. Uh, my comments weren't particularly well received. People didn't really understand what I was talking about, but I watched after that. I watched another YouTuber. I went back to my old routine. Went back to my old favorites. I had a lot of I had a huge back catalog of videos from my old favorites that I had missed because I was reading. You know, but because of the because of the work being done in my room, I'm no longer reading as I'm no longer reading here. I have to go to the library and read. And so, uh, in the meantime, I'm able to watch the whole back catalog of videos that I had missed. And this one YouTuber that I like to watch, he brought up an important point uh, about when when Hispanics, take over this country, you know, when when they're in control, uh, a lot of well, when Hispanics take control of this country, a lot of the programs that we blacks are taking for granted will be gone. And specifically, I my thoughts went to uh, welfare and affirmative action, and it really it really hit home to me how you know just thinking about you know I know that eventually welfare and affirmative action will go away, but watching this video by this YouTuber, it got me to thinking. I wish, I wish that this could happen in my lifetime. I know that, you know, you know, welfare affirmative action is still going strong and held up by the Supreme Court and I forgot her name, the white woman um, who brought the case to the circuit the Circuit Court of Appeals and to the Supreme Court about making um, affirmative action unconstitutional, declaring it unconstitutional with the assumption that it already was unconstitutional. She lost in court multiple times, and the justice, the majority opinion stated that it's perfectly legal for it's perfectly constitutional for a company to uh, enact legal enact affirmative action policies if he has no other way to achieve diversity. But the problem with that statement is that, if you give somebody the right to do something, you also have to give them the right not to do something. It's like the First Amendment, the right to free speech. If you have the right to speak your mind, then you also have a right to not say anything. That's implied. So, so naturally, companies, should have the right to, if they feel the need to, uh, engage in affirmative action to achieve diversity if they have no other way. But they should also have the right not to if that's not their goal. And you know, and it just got me to thinking. I mean, I know I'm not going to be alive when welfare and affirmative action finally go away. I mean, it'll probably be decades after I die before these programs are gone. But, it's just, I was just salivating, just thinking about how, how great it would be in this country if, we could just, I mean, even like just next, I mean, uh, yeah, well, actually 2017 because the election inauguration is not till 2017. So imagine in 2 years' time, you know, the first act of the next president would be to officially challenge welfare and affirmative action. I know he'd have to, run it by the Supreme Court and the Congress. Congress would have to vote on it and send a bill to the White House, and he would, sign the bill, and then it will go to the Supreme Court to see if it lines up with the Constitution. If it does, then it would pass. But I can imagine things, but it's not going to happen that way. And it's like, I mean, just fantasizing about, you know, companies, just companies across the country, you know, can hire whoever they want to, you know, and you know they don't have. It's like, you know they're not saddled with this law that says that you are a racist if you happen to not have a certain proportion of people working in your companies. Now, the black unemployment rate is double that of the white unemployment rate. So, these companies are finding a way to hire who they really want to hire, you know, with little compromise. But imagine how we could, release them from this burden if we could just make it legal for them to do what they do, which is, hiring the best people to do the job. And as far as welfare goes, all the people who have become complacent and satisfied with I mean, and I speak for myself too. I love for, you know I mean, I wish somebody would tell me what I can't have, because, I accept it because it's easy. I accept it because it's way easier than my alternatives. And, I just got my first real customer for my business, and I got my first customer for my graphic design business. I got paid for both on the same day. So, it's like it's a great opportunity, but you know, I mean, it's so easy to stay on welfare. It's so easy to, I mean, it if they said you're off tomorrow, what would I do? And I I'm not necessarily saying that I'm this superstar. There's a good chance that I could starve to death if not on welfare because uh, I can't beg people for money. You know I I I'm not. I have a lot of guilt. I guess you'd call it poor people's guilt, but I have a lot of guilt which prevents me from begging people for money. And uh, and I'm not my my business prowess is not that good. It's like I got my first. I was able to get uh, uh, my first customers in each business, but I wasn't able to. Uh, I wasn't able to, you know, support myself with my earnings from my business. And I know these are just my first two checks and my first two payments, for my business. So naturally, I'm not gonna buy a house on my first two payments. But I mean, you look at a company that that like Walgreens, they're able to you know pay for the CEO, but also for all the regional managers and city managers, store managers, uh, assistant managers, cashiers, stock workers, photo department specialists. I mean, they're able to sell enough product to to support many people all year round, and that's something I haven't been able to do. So I'm not good at making money. I mean, I don't make a lot of money yet from my business, and I'm too proud to beg. So without welfare, I I might starve. You know, but I mean, it would be a great era for Black people, even though I struggle immensely. At the same time, I'd be so happy. You know, I mean, just think about it. How would America improve, and how much better would life be if we could just get rid of these two things? And I'm not talking about getting rid of anti-discrimination laws. I mean, we need those, but this whole you gotta hire proportionately thing without regard to who you want to hire or who has the skills that you're looking for. This whole sort of thing that many colleges and universities are, and I've said I've learned this after so many years. It if you know if it's not for you, then you don't need it. It's like you know basically many of these kids don't need college because college because in their case, college is over borrowing. It's it's borrowing more money than you can reasonably pay back within your lifetime. And uh, so, I mean, not to mention the fact that you know the vast majority of these kids won't graduate. You know, yeah, and you know, it's like you have to take a hard look at the opportunities that are presented to you. You know, uh, it's really hard to get people uh, to support your business and you know I I I would love to be able to say that that welfare and affirmative action are going to uh, without them we would be so much better and the black unemployment rate would plummet if we just got rid of affirmative action but the truth of the matter is that without affirmative action the black unemployment rate is going to go up because companies are going to be you know companies are going to be it's like a shiny new toy they're going to be saying oh finally no more white guilt we can finally hire who we really want so for at least the first decade or so black unemployment is going to go up and there won't be assuming that welfare is also abolished there won't be that social safety net so there won't be you know uh, anything to fall back on uh, but it would be great it's like I wish this could happen while I was still alive it's gonna be probably decades after I die but uh, if 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 the immigrants who are not uh, who don't have white guilt because they're not for some reason are not associated with slavery. Uh, they don't have the white guilt, so they would think nothing of just abolishing both programs, and you know it it would be interesting because a lot of people don't know what I know about Black history. You know, it would be interesting to live in that person's shoes. The young black man who turns 18 uh, a month before affirmative action is abolished and welfare is abolished. I mean, he might have been raised on welfare. He might have had his grandparents on welfare, his parents on welfare, him on welfare. You know, and then to say for them to say, the trough is closed, get a job. I mean, he would be like, when I was in college and I was, supposedly climbing up the ladder and I was uh, running around like a chicken with his head cut off because, I would have done anything to avoid getting back on welfare, you know. But ultimately it leads to the best life because, many blacks won't survive, but, the blacks that do survive will be business owners and, you know, will be having less children. Uh, I mean, without welfare, there would certainly be less crime. You know, uh, and you know, I don't want to say that. I've said in the past that if you know if a black man is hired without affirmative action, then it really it makes him feel as he really earned it. But it it's not really that's not really the case. I mean, um, many blacks, many blacks, many blacks under affirmative action feel as if they've earned it, earned their jobs. But the question is, should we allow? The question is, how are we going to, free the business world from these draconian laws that do not represent the reality of the situation, and how we going to make a fair and equitable system that'll allow businesses to thrive, uh, and that's it. So let me know in the comments. I mean, how great is it gonna feel to you? When affirmative action is finally taken care of, and welfare as well. No more check on the first of the month. Either you either you figure out a way to eat, or you starve. You figure out a way to house yourself and clothe yourself, or you freeze. That. I mean, I wish I wish that was happening today. You know, but it's just too easy to stay hooked up, and it's almost not even worth it. All the stuff you got to go through just to get that check. So let me know how great it would be. What do you think is going to happen in the future? How do you think it's going to finally be abolished? Uh, and that's it. Have a nice day. Bye.